Okay, so you are asking me how to write a dissertation. If you Google that, you will get probably the structure of a dissertation. You have to have an introduction, a literature review, a methods chapter, an analysis chapter, and a conclusion. We have other videos that you can have a look at that sort of talks about those topics. You can just click up here and you'll find some of them, or you can subscribe to Prof's channels and look at that. In this video, I will give you some tips on how to plan the writing process, yeah, and make sure that you sort of enjoy, maybe even, the writing process of a dissertation. My first tip, therefore, is that you need to choose a topic that you're interested in. The reason for that is that writing a dissertation will take time, and you will spend a lot of time with this endeavor. So I would pick something that you're familiar with, something that you're interested in. Yeah, I've had students writing about female rugby. I've had students writing about Disney princesses. I have had students writing about beauty standards online, on Men's Health magazine, on female football, etc. There is a lot to choose from when you do social sciences, and you can almost choose whatever you want. So find something you're interested in. Yeah. My second top tip is to work on your finding your literature and writing a literature review as early as possible. This gives you a platform to sort of understand your topic better and the research within this topic better. You need a literature review anyway for your dissertation, so start reading as soon as possible. Yeah, I've said before in these videos that I work with many of my students to do that process, start that process during the summer break. You have then 2 extra months where you can read at leisure and prepare for the question that you will get in third year. What are you going to do your dissertation on? It's very nice to have an answer to that question and get feedback on that question as early as possible from your supervisor. Then my third tip is prepare well for your data collection. Make sure you have all your papers in order in terms of ethics. Make sure you have filled in your ethics forms and sent it into your university or your supervisor so that they are able to give you the go-ahead to collect data. And when you say prepare for data collection, it's not only just write some questions. You need to think well and long about the questions you want to ask, yeah, so that they are relevant to your research question and relevant to the previous research that has been done in this field. That means that you will rely on your literature review and draft and reading when you figure out which questions are important to ask. And these questions need to be accessible, so you need to work on how you formulate them. The participants in your research may not be familiar with sociological concepts, etc. So you need to formulate questions that they understand, in a way that they understand. So it's a bit of a process to find to prepare an interview guide or interview questions, for instance. Once again, my top tip 3 is to prepare well for data collection so that you are able to collect data that will enable you to answer your research question. My top tip 4 is to be prepared to change course. What do I mean by that? Well, sometimes things do not go as we planned. Maybe you didn't get enough response on your questionnaire that you sent out, or something happened so that you weren't able to do the interviews or go somewhere to observe something, or you come across some literature that you find much more interesting and you want to sort of change or maybe even your research question to sort of cover that aspect of the topic. And that is not a bad thing. Sometimes that happens early in the process, sometimes that happens quite late in the process. But you should be prepared to change course. My top tip 5 is when you write your dissertation, you need to think holistically. All the elements of the dissertation for a dissertation to be good, they need to speak to each other. So an introduction needs to, introduce us to the topic and tell us what you're going to do. Then the literature review needs to show us what has been done before on this topic and in this area, and show us your theoretical framework, and show us how that can help us understand your data in this on this topic, and present your theoretical framework, which you need to convince us is relevant for your analysis of your research question. Then you have a methodology which needs to convince us that you have collected data in a way that is ethically sound, also relevant and justified in relation to your research question. That is, the data that you've collected and the methods you've chosen to collect it makes sense in relation to your research question. Then the analysis is supposed to answer your research question, the elements, the aspects, etc. of the research question. And finally, your conclusion is supposed to answer the research question quite directly and summarize your findings, and maybe point to future research, etc. So think holistically. How do all these chapters and elements fit together around your research question that sort of keeps everything together? Sometimes I even an extra top tip for you. I ask my students to put the research question on the top of every page as they work on their draft, so that you see, this is what I'm trying to answer, this is what I'm trying to answer. And you, of course, delete it before you hand it in. So, if you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment sections down below, and we will answer them as soon as we can. And if you'd like to explore tutoring with someone like me, I'm a social science tutor. I tutor subjects like sociology, human geography, education, etc. Please contact the profs. The information is under here. And as always, best of luck with your studies.